Hey everybody, Dan Bethel here to talk about this year's holiday drawing, celebration drawing that I did for the Long John page and the associated social media. You might have seen me draw like semicircles or circles around the tree. That was mostly just to kind of trick my brain into seeing the volume of it, so to see where I could put him and balance him, for lack of a better word. Even though it's a drawing, you don't need to do that. It just makes it easier to draw for me. As you saw, I had a little difficulty landing on the right pose for this. The original pose ended up being not too different from what I went with. It was just kind of a little bit man-spready, for lack of a better word. So I tried to make it, let's have him lean up against the tree, or let's do something here. Let's have him sit down or something. But I wanted him sitting on that cool-looking sort of crook in the tree. I just had to find a more comfortable pose for it. This one was actually based on a picture I took when my wife and I went camping up in the eastern Sierra Nevada mountain range where the comic takes place, at a lake called Green Lake, which was right above where we were camping one time. And it was a cool looking tree, dead tree on the edge of the lake. And I was looking for inspiration and looking through the photos on my phone and found it in this weird looking tree. I like doing these drawings because you don't often get to see Long John in repose in the comic, because it's a very focused story of him having a really bad time. And so I like doing these to just draw a character looking happy, which is nice to do, not only for the character but for my own mental well-being. I was a little intimidated because I shouldn't be, considering I've been drawing this comic for 10 years now, but I was a little intimidated to draw the sort of nature scenery. But for me, over the years, I've learned it's one of those things I can kind of zone out to and just like draw lines and I can trust my instincts and muscle memory to know it'll look fine. I did lean on sort of old tricks of how I texture the tree. It's just kind of how I texture every tree, just because the thick to thin lines adds a sense of volume and shape to it, even if it's not necessarily exactly representative of the type of bark that's on the tree. But I was also able to break from a lot of the toning, shading I do in the comic by experimenting with different types of brushes that Procreate uses. In this case, I really leaned into something I've been dabbling in, and in the past I have some history with, in physical media, sort of watercolor type brushes, giving it a more natural and organic look that I think really suit the scene. And it's not perfect. I'm not going to claim to be a capital A artist here, but I do like the effect it ultimately created, especially when contrasted with the cartoony drawing in the foreground. I went with the traditional toning that I've done in years past. I've done, I think, 2 of these before. And I went with that sort of cyan or light blue for shadow, and everything else is very sort of stark white, a high contrast kind of look to it. 1, because it's easy, and 2, it looks nice. I hope you had a happy holidays, no matter what you celebrate or if you celebrate, and a happy new year. I'm looking forward to all I have to bring you in terms of Long John in 2025. And with that, my name is D. Bethel, and thank you for watching me draw.